How much should you invest every single month? 100, 500, a percentage of your income? Now you can use an investment calculator. However, that will only give you the result that you may desire, not potentially do yourself, if that makes sense. As the calculator won't know about your debt, if you've got children, dogs, what your habits are like, or any unexpected twists or turns in your life that could stop you investing. Today I'm going to help you find a realistic aim for you to invest every single month without stress. This isn't just maths, by the way. Let me know in the comments, how much do you invest? And while you're down there, subscribe to the channel. Let's start off with the most obvious thing in the world. This is the wrong question. Now, I get asked this question a lot, and it is a matter of opinion. When people see my content, they may look at me and go, wow, you can invest a lot. That's impressive. Or they may say the opposite of, no one can afford to do that. What you're doing, we're in an absolute spending living crisis in the UK. Energy prices count. You get the idea, right? But everyone's different. That's the situation we're in. But also, even if you've got money, right, there's people out there that just do not want to invest. Two people earning the exact same salary, regardless of what job you're doing, could have very different outcomes towards the last day of the month in terms of what cash is available. Housing costs are different. Family commitments, debt. You've obviously got financial goals that may be different, not to mention emergency funds may be there or may not be there. There's people out there that earn absolutely diddly squat and have more money than someone who earns like 100 grand. That just blows my mind. It's just a lifestyle thing. But the reality is, everyone's different. The real question is this: how much can I invest every single month without weakening my own personal finances? Because the one thing that you are probably forgetting, that finances become a factor before you put your inputs onto an investment calculator. Your essential monthly spending, for example. Minimum debt, what is it? Can you pay that off? Are you in a lot of debt? Short-term saving goals is a good factor to consider as well. Not to mention emergency funds and genuine surplus cash or income from other sources as well, such as bonuses. You only invest money that you can afford to leave alone. It makes it so much easier psychology-wise because your brain's not thinking, oh my God, if it goes to zero, I've lost it all. You've got to kind of have a situation or a relationship with that bit of money there that you do not need it. If you go onto my website, there's a link below. Press start here. There is an investment calculator. Because it is a little bit of a trap. I see content creators talk about it a lot, and I do myself, because you need to kind of understand the habit of time and compounding, consistency. But the factor before that is people go, wow, if I just really try and just sell everything and put as much money as possible into this, I can get wealthy. It's not as easy as that, unfortunately. If you do have the default settings here of £5,000 to start off with, £300 a month, roughly 7 to 8% growth over 20 years with a saving, let's save that down to 2 at the minute. Yeah, you can get some nice numbers, but people go a little bit more crazy. They go, well, actually, the S&P 500 returned on average 15% over the last God knows how long. I'll just stick with that. Oof, all of a sudden it's starting to inflate quite drastically. And don't get me wrong, I talk a lot about my own portfolio, which I want to showcase now. Because on the screen is Snowball. This is my own portfolio based off its returns, what it's got. If I'm going to put 20 grand in the market on average, if I want to do that every single year, I could be looking at $500,000 by time, 2032. But again, it's all what if scenarios. That return number there can totally go drastically wrong. And this is real live data, not fake calculated data based off presumptions. This is what it's doing right now. But as I say, you can get blown off course at any point. When you look at the nitty gritty of all this and emotions, irregular market returns, you could have 2 or 3 years of no growth. You've obviously got fees to consider and inflation to consider too. You may, as I say before, you may have changes to your income. You might panic and shit yourself in a market crash, which is totally understandable if you've never experienced one. There's a lot of people who have never experienced a crash before, which is a little bit worrying. Let's talk about 3 monthly numbers. The first one is your minimum amount. What can you put into the market without fail, even in a difficult month? Is that 25, 50, 100, 250, whatever it may be? The purpose of this is to create a habit. Now, number 2 is the normal amount. This is based off the fact of your budget. If you go onto my website, again, go to the same place, you'll find a budget planner. You can put in your ingoings and your outgoings and you'll find out what's left over. you'll be able to work out potentially what is a normal amount that you can throw into the market every single month mainly without fail. This should be automated from payday. Now, the third and most kind of obvious for some people is higher income kind of people that get bonuses and stuff like that, or maybe self-employed. This works very well for, a variety of different things. But if you are on a variable income or you do get bonuses, you might be able to do the normal every single month and then add a bit more because guess what? You've got a big old bonus or you've made a lot of sales in that month. Consistency doesn't mean investing the exact same amount every single time, by the way. It just means one thing and one thing only, just doing it consistently, whether it's weekly, monthly, long as you're doing it every single time. Now, a realistic example on the screen here could be, you get $2,500. You've got a decent amount on a mortgage. You've got some bills going out, groceries, whatever. You're probably quite frugal in some senses, but you still have a decent amount of subscriptions and stuff for that. But you can afford to put £100 into the stock market, for example, right? Or whatever you want to look at. And with this, you could still have 655 quid left over, just in case anything happens and you can't go too crazy. This is just a simple way of looking at it in terms of that side of it, because you could have a situation where you go, you know what, I want to put 600 quid every single month. No, because at the end of every month, you should have some money left over. You can put a bit more in if you want to. That's fine. Okay. But you can also save up, say, for an emergency fund, or put them into, little funds to help you with, I don't know, home maintenance, for example, paying a cleaner, whatever, right? That will help you massively distribute your cash, because it's whatever you do later on down the line is going to be important here. As I say, consistency matters. But if you're inconsistent with when you're putting money in, it's not going to work. Because with this, it'll work out, your spending rules, but also what is your savings goals? You might want to go on holiday, $2,500. Well, actually, you can get that quite easily if you are going to go really, really crazy with it and probably put a lot of money in. It's up to you, obviously, but you can obviously slide this down. Well, hey, I want to put £300 in towards my holiday. Sweet. I'm going to hit potential targets in between 6 and 9 months, give or take. Yeah, you have 9 months there. So it all depends, doesn't it, on what your short-term goals are, what your emergency fund is. You get the idea. This will also tell you off if things are good or bad, just saying. So it's totally free to use. There's a link below if you want to use it. But also, if you do not have an emergency fund and you want to start putting money towards it, you might be salaried and you may want to have 3 months of expenses. You may want to put, say, £150 or £200 every single month into it. Yeah, it can build up. Now, what I do with my own emergency fund is I use Monzo. And with Monzo, what I do is I round it up quite aggressively. So whenever I spend on the joint account, it will go into an emergency fund. So it keeps building in the background. I don't have to worry about it. And it's quite nice actually to see that grow. Now, another thing you could do as well, and a question that I get asked a few times, not as often, but should you invest based off percentages? Because it makes sense if you have got a amount left over, for example, and you use a percentage of that. I would use that as the obvious baseline here and not what you actually make, because obviously your expenses are going to be different for obvious reasons. Because you may have lower expenses in a heavy emergency fund, and that's fine. But you may also have someone else, as I say, with huge debt, children, dogs and cats and whatever, and you may not be able to afford to do anything if you have a too high of a percentage base of what your salary is when your expenses are rather large. I'd just be wary of this one because obviously numbers will change all the time. As I said before, investing isn't about what numbers go in, it's all about time and consistency and building that habit over time. So yeah, you may have a disastrous month, as I say, and it may go totally out the window. But one thing you need to remember as well is you need to increase it without feeling it as well. So if you do, say, for example, get pay rises or whatever it may be, or say, for example, you no longer finance a car or a sofa, you can then use that money and utilize that money better to maybe increase your lifestyle a bit better or just invest a bit more. And you should be able to review this every single month or something like that. Not so much every month, but every 3 to 6 months, see how you're going and see what the progress is like and see actually, do you have good surplus cash? And the thing is with me, my contributions are never identical. I aim to do like £500 per month, but overall I like to do 20 grand because obviously I am self-employed, so I can lump at certain points. That's just perfectly suits me. But as I say, everyone's very, very different. And I know people in the comments will be like, but I've only got 100 quid. It doesn't matter. £100, £100. I mean, that could build up nicely over time and you may well get a windfall and you may be able to put a lot more in. It's all about the average of how many times do you invest versus how much you put in sometimes. But the question that you need to ask yourself, could you maintain investing in a very expensive bad month. Would you still invest if, say, the market fell 30%? And finally, can you leave that money totally untouched for 5 years at least? If you're answering no to some of these, you may need to change your tactics a little bit. There is no such thing as a perfect spreadsheet, a perfect budget planner. It's all about human behavior here. Remember that. Because even though I'm showcasing my entire portfolio, which does have my pension in it, I'm down a little bit today. It's not perfect all the time, but without investing, without being consistent over, let's just be honest here, only the last 16 months building this portfolio with the birth of this channel, I wouldn't have nearly 22 grand in profit, would I? So you got to weigh up the pros and the cons here of that financial commitment to get it right to start off with and to gradually build, a portfolio. Now, I'm not saying don't use a calculator. I'm not. I'm just saying make sure you understand the commitment that you need to focus on your budget, yourself, your own risk appetite, psychology, whatever, and then figure it out from that point, and then maybe look towards the future a little bit and see where it could go. But remember, you could get blown off at any point. But investing every single month and how much it is very much a personal question and often the wrong question. Remember that. If you're not yet done so, please do like the video, subscribe, and comment as well. It'd be keen to know what other people do in terms of how they figure out their monies, but more importantly, there's a video here. You probably should be watching this too.